On this episode of Star Trek Universe, it is another classic Trek rewatch as Effie and I navigate a weird-ass tale of cultural contamination thanks to one piss-poor historian. We'll get into John Gill and his misguided attempts at introducing Nazism with benign leadership right after these words from our mystery-drugged Führers behind the curtain. On this episode of Star Trek Universe, it is another classic Trek rewatch as Effie and I navigate a weird-ass tale of cultural contamination thanks to one piss-poor historian. We'll get into John Gill and his misguided attempts at introducing Nazism with benign leadership right after these words from our mystery-drugged Führers behind the curtain. Welcome into Star Trek Universe. As I said at the top, this is another of our classic Trek rewatch episodes. I am David C. Robertson. I have seen all of the episodes many times over.
And I am Effie Uphelders, meaning I have seen this episode and the ones before once.
Just once.
Just the once. I am not doing more than humanly necessary for, just the bare minimum. That's my style.
Yeah. And you know what? I have good news. The Memory Alpha summary, not so lacking.
Yeah. It's multiple lines this time.
It is. The Enterprise, searching for a missing Federation historian, discovers that the historian has apparently contaminated the cultural development of the planet, where he was assigned as a cultural observer to have it follow the societal path of Nazi Germany in the 1930s and 40s. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Pretty much sped up too, because from 33 to 40, they condensed that in a couple of years, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was efficient about it.
Got quick.
They're very bad at observing and, non-interference and all that. I feel like they're like, everybody knows the Prime Directive. Let me read up on Directive 2 and 3 and 4, and then they forget by the time they actually have to do anything. It's impressive, really.
Right. The first one is like non-interference, and then like the second rule is when you fuck that up.
Are you allowed to repair it, or does that also count as interference? Let's not think about it too much.
What's their secondary directive? Oh fuck.
Shit.
I feel like it reads like fuck. What is Snark's bit in The Flash or whatever it was, where he's like, next step, abandon the plan. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah. I vaguely recall this.
Yeah.
Plan B. No more plan.
Throw out the plan.
Improvise.
Yeah. All right. So.
I miss that actor. I don't know what he's doing now.
Wentworth
Probably
Miller.
Something. Yes, that's the name. I have heard that name many a time on the DC On Screen reviews per episode.
Yeah, they do good work over on DC On Screen.
I've heard that. Those guys do a good job.
Yeah. And I hear
they put in the hours.
I hear that the host, not the co-host.
No. Jason, the main host.
No. I heard, the main host, not Jason.
Oh, the non-Jason. Yeah, I keep forgetting his name. Yeah.
I hear positive things about his dick. I don't know. I didn't, because
that is the only thing I've remembered about him. Yes, I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but boy, do I remember his dick.
I can't remember what the positive things were.
That is a reputation that precedes him.
I don't remember if it was like, oh my God, it's amazing, even though it's small, or if it was like, what a big swinging thing that is. I don't know which one it was, but
I think it was just very cute.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Just like good head of hair. Just, still for its
head
age.
Of hair.
Doing well. Hey, man, I'm not into it, but some of the girls are.
Maybe it was just like a shock and awe situation. It wasn't really a good or bad thing. It was like, my God, it's like a slinky. And.
like ducks.
Yeah.
Slinkies are corkscrews, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And he can probably go off stairs that way.
Yeah.
It'll hurt a bit, but
That was that actually reminds me of one of the funniest Kevin Nealon jokes I remember hearing he was explaining to Conan O'Brien. He was like, yeah, I met my wife at a Halloween party, and she was dressed as a Slinky. I've never seen anyone do that before. Anyway, when I first saw her, she was coming down the stairs.
Oh, delightful. Yeah, it's impressive. I saw a Halloween costume this year of someone being an ostrich. But like with the hand up in the air as a sock puppet and like the feathers. Like, so they had to drop forward as well to just hide their face. And it was funny. It was good. It was a good idea.
Yeah.
Solid.
I have seen a lot of those, people doing a lot of that on Reels and TikToks and stuff. And I'm like, my God, that would hurt my back.
Oh, of course. You couldn't do that all night.
No.
You would basically do it only every time someone at the party asked, the fuck is your costume? And then flip over and be like, it's an ostrich.
Yeah.
Here you are. Here you go. And then flip back and be like, let me take my drink back up the right side up because gravity doesn't work with this costume. You know, shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
But it's a fun idea, and it's, that's what Reels are good for. Showing off your Halloween costume, and then the rest of the year we should just not post anything. Because, sooner or later you get bored, you don't have a Halloween costume in mid-March, and you post a bunch of Nazi propaganda on Twitter. It's just how it goes.
Oh, that's not how it goes for me.
I mean, I've never partaken, but that doesn't mean that lots of people aren't doing it.
Right. Speaking of Nazi propaganda.
Haha, I did a segue.
Accidentally, I think.
No.
Oh, it was on purpose?
No, I was absolutely setting you up for that one.
Oh, man, that's pretty good.
I can always bring the conversation back to Nazis. Come on.
That's pretty good.
You know me.
I do know.
It's the world we live in. I'm trying to have some escapism, watch a show, be off in the far future. What perks up on my screen is just fucking Nazis again.
Yeah.
At least these ones are pretty open about it.
Right. I have to say, I've never really liked this episode very much.
Yeah, it does just feel like we have a set and costume reservoir that we can use for this.
And they did.
It doesn't have a lot to say, is I think my main issue, where I'm like, you sort of have the speech at the end where it's like, well, they were hideous evil men, but also the leader principle, where you're like, okay, have we now examined the fact that you're the leader of this ship, and there's a hierarchy still? Do we think about this beyond the fact that maybe ethnic cleansing isn't the greatest idea?
Right.
I don't know. It's not the most interesting take on World War II. It is an interesting examination purely from the standpoint of, oh, it works. It's efficient. It's the best way to unite a people is to be a fucking populist asshole.
Yeah.
And that rings true to this day, sure. But beyond that, it's just an excuse to have them run around in Nazi costumes, it feels like.
That was
kind of, yeah. There's a lot of stills where I'm like, I don't know if, in hindsight, if you would want these pictures out in the ether.
But it was interesting, at least from the perspective of entertainment, because it was a relatively lighthearted episode.
Yeah, for what it was, somehow, yeah.
To have had the fucking Nazis killing Zayons or whatever, like one
subtle,
one letter away from Zions.
One letter away from Abram and Isaac, and Isaac is just really it's just pronounced differently. It's still spelled like Isaac. Fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we could talk more. We'll talk more about that in trivia.
I was grateful for the subtitles to be like, oh no, they specified it. It's barely different, but it's different. It sounds the same, but you spell it with an O.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
This episode, was an episode that launched a million fanzines. Spock with his shirt off, though.
Fair enough. And the green blood from the lashes he doesn't appear to feel, which is a nice touch. I did appreciate that he's just standing there like, yeah, just go off. You're not strong enough to hurt me.
Yeah, that was one of those things.
I'm bleeding, but apparently I don't feel a fucking thing.
Well, I think he does feel it. He's just
controls
himself.
Right, that also works.
He controls himself.
Well, he can have an emotional outburst, but he also doesn't flinch,
Mm-hmm.
I could have also taken it as, well, he's a Vulcan. He's not going to be harmed by a human that easily.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the initial things that I remember as a kid. Like a really young kid. One of my first memories of Star Trek is this episode. And asking my parents, why is Spock not hurt? And they were like, oh, he's just controlling his emotions. That hurts.
He's an alien. Fair enough. Okay.
Glad
your parents were there to explain this concept.
Yeah. Like, oh, Spock hurts. He just doesn't show it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
fair
right.
Enough. He must feel it. That's fair. I would have, because of the bleeding, I would have expected him to be slightly more invulnerable, if that makes sense. But maybe they're just really strong, but also glass cannons.
Well, he's just, they're just whipping him with freaking cat o' nine tails. I mean, that's going to rip you apart either way, I guess.
Apparently, I don't know how strong Vulcan skin is. I haven't looked into this yet. But apparently it can be broken quite easily.
Yeah. It is as strong as the plot requires it to be.
Fair enough. I'll take that. That's how we roll.
But, there are a lot of fun little whimsical dialogue, also poking fun at the Nazis here, as their newscaster had said that, their missiles had utterly destroyed the enemy. And we saw that the Enterprise blasted their little missile out of the stars. And
yep.
Kirk says, "You look quite well for a man who's been utterly destroyed, Mr. Spock."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Something like North Korea shit.
Yep.
So, and just like the little barbs at each other, like Kirk.
Yeah, and the stepping on his his tortured back and like dragging that scene out. It's very much a comedic take, despite the seriousness of the context.
And Spock just like having a whole conversation up there, like, "Come on, man, you know what's going on. You're standing on his tattered back.
Yeah, you're just being a dick. You're purposefully not understanding idioms all of a sudden. Yeah. Come on, man."
Spock telling Kirk, "You should make a very convincing Nazi."
Yeah. That is that look that Kirk gives in that moment is great.
Yeah.
Just like, that's not a compliment.
Yeah. Captain, I'm beginning to understand why you Earthmen enjoy gambling. No matter how carefully one computes the odds of success, there is still a certain exhilaration in the risk. Very good, Spock. We may make a human of you yet. I hope not.
Yeah.
Great.
That exchange is also just there to be funny. It didn't add much. It felt a bit forced to me, like that one, but it's still a fun exchange because the I hope not part was just, you can say it with him before ever hearing the line. You know what's coming.
But they're making strides here. Like they're starting to it's not fucking Hogan's Heroes or anything, but they're putting some comedy here into the Nazi Germany aspect of it. This is, and then I think it's like shortly after this that the producers, Springtime for Hitler, all that shit with Mel Brooks happens. So,
right, yeah,
we're starting to creatives starting to edge their way into talking about this stuff with some.
Yeah, we can sort of make Holocaust jokes now, but also the Zeons are being rounded up yet.
Yeah.
Like we don't see gas chambers. We don't know they're ending up in ovens yet.
Right. It's a very, very odd episode. They're towing a tough line.
It's a strange tone. Yeah.
It feels weird. You've got the primary Zeon character saying, like, I don't believe in violence, but after seeing what I did today, I could kill. Like, oof.
Yeah, that's dark. That's
dark.
A good line.
It's a good line.
That's sort of what I latched onto, because I'm like, yeah, this is a serious as fuck setting, and you have like the intrigue and the intricacies of the plot, where it's like, oh, that high positioned officer in the Nazi party might actually be on our side and might be undercover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's an interesting twist to toy with and have confirmed at the end. And like it's almost sort of a shame to end up at the John Gill wasn't all bad, sort of. He was drugged and someone else who was worse took his place, sort of. Like, it felt kind of forced because they set it up as he was such a peaceful, nice guy, but also he wanted to, like, he felt the best way to get this planet to progress was
Yeah.
bringing it into wartime Nazi Germany-like structures.
Yeah, I don't know.
He could have come up with a new fucking symbol.
Right. That's what I was about to say. It's like, I don't understand why, like, it had to be, like, other than the fact that,
People will respond well to this swastika. I can't make it a different kind of symbol.
It's because it's so hard to draw. I think people are drawn to it.
That must be it, yes. But then the SS is just a very simple symbol.
Yeah, but it,
Which is what SS stands for, actually. Simple symbol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was two, like, chopped off flash bolts.
That is the Flash's logo on Earth X. Absolutely.
Yeah. So look, now I obviously what they have, they didn't have money. Like I said, like I've told you,
it is a cheap way to get around. Like, let's have a lot of costuming without having to make new ones.
Right, because
we can just use the non-alien things.
These were literally costumes from an actual movie, like an honest to God movie.
They look good.
They look good. So, and maybe it's just like the historian being like, jacking off to the historical accuracy of it. Maybe that's why he was like, let's do this. But, he did say, they had issues. I wanted to help them. And I thought, because he believed that they were the most like the Nazis were still the most efficient group that Earth has ever seen. And then Kirk and Spock were like, yep, absolutely. Which, I guess at that time, a lot of people still believed it. The writer talked about how he believed it. So, at that time, that was still believed. It's been completely fucking demolished, this notion, at this point in our lives.
Like,
and the
only reason it brought the country back from the brink of debt is, A, they stopped paying that fucking debt, and they went into the industry of war. They just built a shit ton of weapons for the express purpose of war, and if you make everyone work in your fucking weapons factory, there's a lot less unemployment. It's you can change things pretty drastically if you're the authoritarian leader of a place.
Yeah.
But he could have gone about it any other way, and it's very much.
But also, they were like,
it misses the nuance where, okay, so he got like all of the Nazi shit together to come to power, to rise to that point, but we're supposed to believe he did that without blaming one out group for all of the shit that's wrong with society.
Yeah.
Because that came later. Come on.
Yeah.
That's essential for fascism. That's one of the very aspects of being a Nazi is, well, we're going to pretend we had nothing to do with all the problems. There's just a cohort of Zeons out there ruling society secretly and running our media and let's replace it all with our view screens. I did enjoy that word. Was it view screens? They had like it's not quite a television thing. Right. That was cute. That was cool. They also sort of predicted the flat screen, didn't they?
Oh, yes. Well, Star Trek did in
general.
Now
that I think about it, like, come on.
Star Trek kind of did in general, really, with the view screen on the bridge and shit.
On the bridge, but that feels like a window in a way.
Well, it is on the new Star Trek.
That has an overlay, but yeah, it can show video in that sense.
Yeah.
I just mean like, this looked like a flat screen. Like even the if they communicate internally on the Enterprise, you have the little boxes behind the screens. So outside of the cockpit, I guess there's not much in the way of that, but it is fun to be like, that didn't stick out to me at first because I'm used to flat fucking televisions. But to them, that was like, oh, we interposed one picture into another, and it took a lot of work.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I take it that was old footage, by the way. The black and white 1930s footage, that was just real.
Some of it.
Yeah, not the actress being,
right.
getting her promotion or anything.
That wasn't the only thing that they faked.
We saw Hitler, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that wasn't the only thing they faked, but...
Also kind of sad that Gill didn't actually grow the fucking mustache. If you're going for all of the imagery, you should have had a dumb mustache.
Maybe he tried it because I think
maybe he shaved.
I think that Hitler we saw was supposed to be John Gill.
Yeah,
at some
exactly.
point.
In his
so,
younger years, yeah.
Yeah. So
but also it's happened in a couple of years, the movie.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Whatever. Don't
Maybe
think
he
about
went
it
through
too
a
hard.
phase. Maybe he went through a phase. We
Maybe he thought, no, this looks stupid. I'm shaving today. Never
this is
mind.
embarrassing. I dyed my hair and grew
Maybe
the
that's why
mustache.
why the coup happened in the first place. His under officer was like, "This looks ridiculous. I'm drugging you and shaving you in your sleep."
Yeah. But yeah, that's what John Gill winds up saying in the episode. The planet was fragmented, divided, took lesson from Earth history. Why Nazi Germany? You studied history. You knew what the Nazis were. Most efficient state Earth ever knew. But he thought he could create this efficient state, but with benign leadership, except then he was overpowered by some
possible. Yeah.
assholes.
Also, but they don't quite get to the point of, because it wasn't him being corrupted by power like they try to sort of imply at the end. It was the guy underneath him. Like, it was evil men profiting off of the structure of authoritarianism, implying that as long as there had been a benevolent dictator, it would have been fine. There's no problem with authoritarianism. You can just, unite a people and be very, very efficient about your governing if you're the only one in charge. And somehow the fragmentation and division wasn't an issue anymore, but you still need someone to blame. You still need an outgroup. So it kind of gets past that bit of the history very easily.
And I'm confused that, like...
Nazis bad.
Well, I knew that part.
Okay.
So
That's a good start.
I do feel like this is a very heavy-handed, but ultimately lazily written episode.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I'm annoyed that, like, they are seeing Spock and they're just like, well, I don't like those ears. You're fucking inferior race. No question about where they came from.
No, just
wonderment.
some fucking mutation living underground or some shit. Like, they don't have, I guess they don't really have a perception or an awareness of outside planets yet, because their military arsenal is far inferior still, where it's like, you have some thermonuclear bombs and we can just phaser them out of space. So it's not much of a threat. But it feels like the John Gill was dropped off, but other than that, they must not have seen a ship ever until Enterprise shows up.
Yeah, there's so many questions, so many things that they didn't explore in this episode.
They didn't think through
why the fuck would that one dude be like, I don't like your color there. You look sick. Take off your helmet. Like, what? Why did you think anything was going on beneath his helmet?
Exactly. He could have had normal fucking ears and a weird ass dick, and you would have never known.
Take out that dick, soldier.
Penis. Yeah, exactly.
Take out that dick.
What if he had gills in the sides of his fucking torso? Like, take all of your clothes off because you look greenish.
I suspect that dick looks like a hammer.
They wouldn't have gotten away with most of these plots where they dress up if Spock had been read as originally intended. That would have made quite a difference.
That would have been weird.
You seem hot, soldier. Like, doesn't quite work the same.
He's like, yes, I ate a chili.
I am very, very white, so I turn bright red by the slightest bit of heat in my food. It's just a genetic thing, sir. But we are the superior race.
Lieutenant, have you ever tried a ghost pepper?
I accidentally mistook a Madame Jeanette for a bell pepper. It was my mistake, and I'm owning it.
All right. During the first season, Paul Schneider wrote a story outline entitled Tomorrow the Universe, about the Enterprise encountering an alien planet, adopting Nazi ideology, and forming its own Third Reich.
Fair enough.
Schneider
that does imply more risk already, more stakes of, like, they will go out into the universe and conquers all the expansionism. That is also a part of, like, we won't stop at the planet next door.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Schneider began to develop the story further. However, when John Meredith Lucas came up with this very similar idea of patterns of force, it was deemed much better than Schneider's story, which was scrapped.
Aww.
John Meredith Lucas wrote this episode out of his fascination with the functioning of totalitarian regimes, especially Nazi Germany, and their ability to stay in power.
Their ability. Call it violence.
Yeah.
Come on.
William Shatner quoted him to Chris Kresge in Star Trek Memories as saying that, quote, "It was fun to write a well-meaning Nazi, a guy who for the right cause completely fucked everything up. You know, we started with the question, how the hell did Nazism get past the shits and the street gangs and take root among the basically decent people? How did sane, reasonable adults come to buy into this bullshit? The answer seemed to be because it was efficient, and because in a society beset by all kinds of problems, it may have seemed like a feasible necessity. So it becomes feasible, and the people take that leap."
Yeah, but also the basically decent people look at other people like they're shits and street gangs. That's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Oh well. Nazism is an interesting topic. I have passionate opinions.
Oh, I know.
Oh boy. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, I can dive back in, but yeah, it's just
like
it is a shame that they had to sort of take that lighthearted approach, because there's something in there, but I feel like you couldn't just take the blame off of John Gill. Like, you would have had to have him be so cynical as to realize they needed an enemy. And also, the stakes only work because the other planet is supposedly entirely peaceful as, you know, the more evolved option, because everything goes through the same sort of Western civilization development stages in this show. So, you know, if they hadn't evolved past war, they might defend themselves or some shit. But also, we have to, as the Federation, have evolved past war, but not quite, because we still have a fucking expansionist colonist military group. So, are we pacifist enough? No. The real pacifists are always the weaklings who sit by the side and wait to get killed or some shit.
Sure.
It is an interesting cosmology in that sense.
Yeah. An early draft of this episode had the source of cultural contamination arriving aboard a small ambassador-class vessel called the Magellan. The name was later applied in TNG to the ambassador class of ships in the mid-24th century. I liked the idea. That in mind. I liked the idea better that there was some sort of cultural contamination that was not related to a representative of the Federation just doing it. Because it just makes him look stupid. Like, don't fucking do Nazis.
You like Nazi Germany? Like, this was the one solution you saw out of polarization, I guess? The planet was fragmented. I guess I had to become a dictator. What?
Yeah. And then he never answers.
How are these the democratic ideals of the Federation?
And I hate that he never. I hate that he never answers or gets to answer. They drugged him up so much and made him it's so impossible for the character to say anything. It's like, because my next question, or maybe even my first question, if I was Kirk, was, dude, what the fuck happened to the Prime Directive? Like, why we have a non-interference
Why the fuck did you
law.
abandon your post? Like, you have one rule.
You were meant to be an observer.
Yeah. Like, the worst thing that could have happened was they were already going to war, would have blown themselves up, and I would have been like, guys, can you come pick me up? Beam me up, someone.
Yeah.
Because they all thermonuclear warheaded themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm guessing wasn't actually a thing yet before, because they were ahead of schedule according to their previous development. So like technologically they'd advanced because of John Gill being like, and this is how you build a thermonuclear warhead. Ships that will come get me. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
I want to see, like, I really do. Like, give me a whole series set on this planet with John Gill. Like, show me why John Gill decides to stop observing, like, and start taking action.
Could be interesting. Could be an entire story. Yeah,
it could be. Like, it's very, very interesting.
Really, like, I'd imagine you'd have to become real cynical. Like, you'd have to really reach that point of there is no way out. This planet is going to shit, and I've tried everything, and now I'm trying this.
Yeah. Explain
which could have been interesting if it hadn't been just a couple of years, I guess. And I don't know. It feels a bit rushed in that sort of backstory in a lot of ways.
I mean, they could absolutely, because of World War III and the eugenics wars and all this shit, they could absolutely have, like, fucked up records or something that misrepresent what Nazi Germany was or how efficient it was.
Yeah.
I can write my way out of that bag.
Shittier history than we do. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah. I mean, they've actually said that in certain Star Trek episodes. They're like, records from this time because of the wars.
Kind of shitty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Third World War kind of burnt a lot of books. Whatever. Yeah. It's what they did in the Second World War too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you know. Enig's name is an inside joke. It is Gene backwards.
God damn it. Who was Enig again?
I don't remember.
Fuck it. Anyway, yeah, that's Gene backwards. God damn it, I didn't even realize that. That's sad.
Oh, that Enig was the dude who they had on the inside. The Ecosian.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, of course, the name Zayon is supposed to be a take on Zion, and Abram was Abraham or Abram, and Davad was David, and Isaac
I'd forgotten there was a Davad.
There was a Davad, and Darius was reversed as Sarah with a D in front of it.
I guess.
Good Lord.
Sarah.
George Takei does not appear in this episode. We just got him back, for Christ's sake. George Takei is not in this episode again.
God damn it. Maybe he just didn't want to parade around in a Nazi costume. Maybe that would have looked bad. I don't know, man.
Hey, George Takei, as a child, was put into the concentration camps.
And that's a good reason, now that you mentioned that. I would say, nah, I'll sit this one out.
Yeah. James Doohan only had one line in this episode. Quote, "Aye, sir, whatever your condition."
Wow, indeed. Yeah.
What? I mean, he got double time. Well, actually, was he even Scotty in the last episode? No. So he was Sargon last episode.
That's fair. He was
somebody.
Mostly doing that role. He was making Kirk lip sync, so Shatner had a rough time. You know, that's fun.
I think they did like a combination of him and Shatner, because I heard Shatner for sure.
That's fair. I didn't listen that closely, I guess.
Several of the cast who dress up as Nazis in the episode, notably William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, had Jewish backgrounds. On December 1st, 1967, newspaper and magazine photographers were invited to the set for publicity. Nimoy refused to have any pictures taken of him in Nazi uniform, as he was due to attend the Wilshire Boulevard Temple Children's Hanukkah services later the same month, and did not want any possible controversies to arise.
Very valid.
I'll take it.
Understandable.
Meanwhile, Shatner's like, here, take my picture.
Look at me, I'm wearing a helmet. No, I'm a Gestapo agent. Anyway, yeah.
It's a very important episode. This episode discounts the previously established theory of Hodgkin's law of parallel planetary development, which was established to explain the similarities seen in bread and circuses. In this case, Kirk observes that the chances of another planet developing a culture like Nazi Germany using the forms, the symbols, the uniforms of the 20th century Earth are so fantastically slim, which Spock describes as virtually impossible. But John Gill had contaminated the development of Ecos' culture by introducing a modified version of Nazism to the planet, thereby breaching the Prime Directive, and hence this society did not evolve normally. Thus, Hodgkin's law might not have been applicable here.
Yeah,
Jesus
that makes
Christ.
sense. And also, if there had been no interference, you might have had a Nazi-like, Germany-like state that would have just never come up with this same exact imagery.
Right.
Which is... Like Hodgkin's law, to me, never implied, you'll go through industrialization and then look exactly like this country from Earth.
Right.
It is, they already have to point out there's some architectural similarities. That's interesting. Because they're humanoid, it's bound to be similar. Sure. But then when you go those costumes are exactly from our history, at that point, someone has known someone has memorized how to draw a swastika correctly, basically.
Ooh, Lordy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's a bad episode. It's a bad fucking episode.
It ain't great. But it also didn't feel to me, watching it, like it was one of the worst I've seen.
Right, no, it's not one of the worst.
No, it's just, it ain't great. I could have used a rewrite. Probably there was no time for that shit, so,
Yeah, like I said, these are pickup episodes. They didn't know they were making these.
Exactly.
The underground
Also,
area.
I'm glad they remastered that fucking laser because it looks real different.
Is that sarcasm?
No, yeah. It's like, oh, we remastered it to be a tighter laser, I guess.
Yeah, it looks.
I'm not sure it looks better.
Brighter. It looks brighter. It doesn't look better. That's
No,
all
it doesn't look better. Yeah, that's yeah. Glad we spend money on that. Oh.
The laser from the light bulb and the diodes or whatever the fuck it was, the Spock in the
rubidium inside the fucking communicator. No, inside their arms, the transponders that never came into use other than being like, let's cut our arms open. Right. You're trying to kill yourself, which was dark. Like that, if anything, was like, are we teaching kids how to cut open their arms?
Like, mommy, I think I have a transponder in my arm.
Give me the kitchen knife, mommy.
The underground area is the same set that was used for The Devil in the Dark. Did you catch that?
Right. Yes. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. The headquarters
it looked pretty damn similar. Yeah.
It was.
The
same. Yeah. The headquarters of the Nazi Party in this episode are the redecorated offices of Paramount Pictures during the 60s, including the building where Lucille Ball ran Desilu. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of fun.
That's funny. Yeah, to use that. That's interesting. Like, let's fuck with the producers for a bit.
Yeah. Because the subject matter of the nation's Nazi past was deemed too serious and too sensitive a topic for light TV entertainment, this episode was withheld from broadcast in its 2 original runs by the German stations that aired the original series, the public ZDF network in the mid-1970s and the private Sat1 network in the late 80s and early 90s, and resulted that Patterns of Force became the only original series episode not to be aired in Germany. Only in 1996 was the dubbed episode finally shown on German pay TV, shortly after the first time German language release on VHS the year previously, and included on all subsequent DVD and Blu-ray discs season sets.
Fair enough. Once they had done the dub, you might as well air it.
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, the 90s, though.
Yeah. Like, that couldn't have been the same, like, voice actors doing the dub anyway. Like, that must sound weird.
It wasn't until November 4th, 2011 that it was finally shown on the public network channel, ZDF Neo. Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
Interesting. That's late. Yeah. I mean, it's funny in a way because, let's be real, there's an American Nazi past that is also oft overlooked and not discussed, but that's we prefer to ignore it, so it's no longer sensitive. We can air that shit. But yeah, Germany is pretty damn serious about not taking any of the fascist bullshit too lightly. There is, like, they are very clear about free speech is fun, but also don't be a fucking Nazi because we know where that went. Yeah. And honestly, more countries should take a fucking note from their book, because my God, if only there was that limit, it would be good.
All right. Do you have anything else on this episode? Anything you want to get off
No,
your
I'm
heart?
glad to know that my mom could have never seen this as a kid, though. Because I remember her telling me, like, I saw it on German TV. And I'm like, yo, you didn't see this one. Apparently, yeah. Now I know.
Yeah. I just, okay, it's funny that they, Kirk was like, beam McCoy down naked if you have to. And he's just like beams down, like trying to put on his boot. Like, it's kind of funny, but also...
My boot is too small. It's useless. It's just, it was unnecessary for him to not just be dressed already.
There's so much padding in this episode.
Yeah, it is very much padding out the runtime, because you could have just been like, I'm dressed, I'm ready, let's go, and not imply that the costume machine inside the Enterprise is just sometimes terrible at remembering your shoe size.
Yeah.
I materialized this out of thin air, but also it's a little tight.
Yeah.
You like if it had been like around his waist, that would have been funny. And like, oh, you gained some weight. Like, that could have been a gag.
Yeah.
His shoe is just an excuse to be like, oh, he's still sitting down trying to get it on.
What's mostly aggravating to me about it is, while it was chuckle worthy, it was like, there is so much fucking padding. where like, you know, the changing of costumes, like now they're getting whipped and like, oh, now they've got to change costumes again. And now they got to go underground.
They
and
get
now
they get caught and then they get uncaught and then they get caught again.
Yeah.
And then the underground movement has to do a secret play to test if they're not secretly Nazis. And, you know, it's something, but it's not great.
It is a lot of padding, and what I really wanted was more about John Gill and why he did the shit that he did, and
you could have used that time to build out the ending and be like, what the fuck happened here? Mm-hmm. And had a better answer than, at some point he got drugged and then the evil guy took over. Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, I want to put more blame on John Gill. Like, I want there to be like a... Dude, no, I've always been obsessed with this specifically, and I've always wanted to see, like, I saw an opportunity to see if it would work. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, make something stupid out of academic interest in there. Because now it's very much that sort of, well, I didn't think this would go wrong again. Like, this just doesn't make sense. You put in a state propaganda machine that could be abused by the guy under you. Like, come on. Even Hitler himself had people taste his fucking food, and you just got drugged. Yeah. That's dumb. You're dumber than Hitler.
Yeah. And, you know, there was an opportunity there to do a story about, you know, forcing these people to be observers, training them to be observers, to be emotionally detached from it, might actually have aided in his clinical... his, you know, very cold clinical need to see if this would work. Yeah. So, like, maybe
could have had more of a group to do that with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a secret society of, y'all know I'm an alien. Now that we've got that out of the way, I want to build a Nazi society here. Y'all don't know how that ended last time, but I know. Yeah. Shit could have gone weird. You could have done so much more with this, with the premise of, we want to use these costumes, essentially.
I think it would be an interesting, like, if you took every person who was a Zeon and made them part of his original observation team and obliterate that whole, like, Nazis versus the Jews thing.
Get rid of the,
But show, like, the Nazis turning on themselves when they don't have someone to go after.
Yeah, like, just the logical approach is, now that we're, like, we don't have an out-group, we have to create an out-group because that's how Nazism works. That would be an interesting take, because that is very much if only the white people are left, wait 2 minutes before some white person starts calling the other white person not white enough anymore. Like, if you ethnically cleanse the US, people would start caring about you being Irish again, you know, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
That's just a given.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't go there or do anything with that, and instead they did do the whole sensitive thing of, like, they are rounding up Jews, I guess, and also let's name them Zion, and I mean that aged poorly because of Zionism currently, but I don't know. It's not subtle anyway. It was a bad name to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know why ECOS was. Do you know if ECOS meant anything?
You know, I didn't see anything, but
fair enough.
You know, I'm not terribly bright.
Yeah, that's fair.
Either. So, you know, honestly, it could have just been as simple as being they're an echo of what we did. Anyway, a lot of stuff they could have done better in this episode, I feel like, but
we'll rewrite it and then have nowhere to go with that idea.
That's right.
As per usual.
Next time.
Ooh.
Next time on the Classic Trek Watch Rewatch, it is time to meet Daystром's M5AI, a wonderful innovation until the War Games exercise. We'll get into the cold, calculated carnage of the ultimate computer. But until then, Joel on True, live long and prosper, and of course,
eat a dick, Nazis. Eat a dick.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.